So, oh my gosh, this episode, it had world building, and it had Pinky and Dash, and it had Gilda coming back, and then you just had this kind of dump of a town, and I guess the episode was all right.
Yeah, that seems to be. It's not that it's like anything good or bad, but it's just kind of like it's like a grade above meh, but it's not as good as an eh. Yeah, what I mean.
It's a
By the way,
sort of episode.
It's a meh. By the way, gots to apologize for the tardiness, but there's a good reason for that, and that is because Google is a douchebag.
Google's a douchebag, number one. I don't know if anyone saw the video that went up yesterday of this, but it was actually a fucking disgrace, honestly. Because seriously, what happened was we were trying to do it with Google Chrome, and apparently it had tons of lag between us. So we were trying to go with our phones, and then it kind of overlapped each other, and the camera angles didn't work out right, and it just sucked.
Yeah, and it just yeah, it looked like that. It was. So today, not only did we hopefully fix the problem, but we're trying a marketing tactic and getting people into the video because we're view hungry whores. Ha 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 ha. No, not really.
I mean, we did bring Toon Critic in for the subscriber bait. Now we're going for viewer bait.
Yeah. And
because I posted this on a page that has 1,600 likes on it.
And well, I mean, who doesn't like Metallica, right?
And
I got a Beatles and John Cena's picture back there. So
who doesn't like Twilight Princess either? Zelda.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Twilight as in a princess who is named Twilight Sparkle.
It's kind of funny how that worked.
Yeah, because people couldn't stop. Because I did this too. When the second I heard her name was Twilight Sparkle, I was like, Twilight Sparkle. Ah! That's funny, because Twilight and they sparkled, and then she became Princess Twilight Sparkle, and then it's like, oh, now she's Princess Twilight Princess Sparkle.
And it's so funny because when Josh Corcher did his Magical Mystery Cure review, it was constantly, and I went through this entire episode without making a Twilight Princess joke. Darn it!
Yeah. Duh, he almost did it. So this episode starts off with Pinky in Te Bakery, and she's in the bakery because she lives there, right? Yeah, she lives there, yes. And she's making a whole bunch of pop brownies, and she's like, okay,
pop brownies.
Well, and she's like, okay, Gummy, my ass is starting to glow. That means I gotta go to Twilight's house, and not for the other reason, haha.
But here's what's funny though, in that scene, you were saying she was making pop brownies.
Yeah.
It's her Granny Pie's secret recipe.
Oh, Granny Pie knew how to party.
And then I just love when her butt starts glowing and she's just like, you know what that means? She kind of goes in, the map. Just like, wow. Okay, Gummy, so I just got this first layer out. You can sprinkle it when it gets cool. I'll measure the baking soda for you, and then you just get the other layer in, and it's gonna be a 15-hour job, but I know you could do it because you're the best baker ever. And Gummy replies by just falling over.
Gummy gives the least amount of fucks in this show.
He is honestly the best pet of the show, I think.
Oh, he's the OTP, own top pet.
Yes. I'm
so clever with my internet puns.
Indeed. Anyway,
but,
so they get to the castle.
Head over there. Yeah.
They head to the castle, and Twilight's like, yeah, well, you get to you'll get to see Griffonstone, which is the greatest thing ever. And I swear to you, every time they say Griffonstone, I'm like, I wonder how many times, not only myself, but how many times the voice actresses had to not say Gryffindor. Because
Gryffindor.
it's so ingrained in our memories because of the books and the
Yeah.
movie that it's just like, how can you not go a day without saying Gryffindor or at least understand it at that
That just
way? You know what I mean?
hearing that just reminds me. Did you see how J.K. Rowling just like roasted the Westboro dudes on Twitter?
Oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
That was hilarious. He's like, maybe one day Ganondorf and Dumbledore and Gandalf can get married here in Ireland. And it showed that picture of Keanu Reeves, and it's just like, and he goes, what if they were gay for each other? Westboro's like, these two want to get married in Ireland? Fine. Hashtag we'll protest it. By the way, I love that their Twitter name is WBC, but their handle is at Westboro Says.
Yeah,
Just throw it out there. And then J.K. Rowling's just like, clearly such a union is too awesome for their tiny little minds. It's just like slam jammed. That was
but
funny.
here's what's funny. And think about this, some food for thought outside of this episode. Let me tell you, most Christians think of the Westboro Baptist Church as most Muslims do about Islamic terrorists. Just saying.
Ooh. Slow burn or
back
sick
to the
burn.
episode, though.
Yeah, so we can only derail so much. And the last thing we need to bring up in the Brony fandom is religion.
Exactly.
I'm seriously waiting for the day bronies, because you know how people put Klingon down as a race and as a language on the census? How much longer until people are just like, yeah, I'm equestrian at heart?
That so reminded me of there's this picture online that it's this furry fandom pic that it's like on all levels except physical, I'm like a fox, and then he just makes a fox noise or something. But there's a an edit to that picture where it has Walter White's face on it, and it's like, on all levels except physical, I am the danger, Knox.
That's so awesome. Oh, so the episode, I'm sorry. So the episode, by the way, can I just point out that okay, Dash is just like, it's like Griffonstone, and she goes on to say how like Griffins are just as loud and greedy as dragons. How come no one talks about the fact that everyone is racist towards dragons and apparently griffins now?
I know what you mean. It's kind of weird.
Just saying. I mean, for the dragons, it kind of makes sense because they live in the mountains and they keep to themselves, so they got the whole don't bug me, we don't bug you thing. Fine, but with Griffonstone, as we see, they just are kind of there.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
I thought they were just second-class citizens in Cloudsdale, but turns out they're from a third world country.
But the story itself is quite interesting. They were once greedy as dragons, but then they found, what was it? I have it on my phone here. Hold on. I actually had to do some research. The episode's kind of forgettable in that sense. Let's see. The Idol of Boreas. They find this Idol of Boreas, which, honestly, for this review, let's just call it the Sorcerer's Stone. Keeping with the Harry Potter theme. So
I really like you sometimes.
Well, thank you. See, you make the funny puns and I make the awesome observations.
You have all the theories.
Exactly.
So they
but
go.
I'm not very wary, that's for sure.
Jeez, it's a theory, a pony theory. So
thanks for watching.
So to say, oh yeah, so I love that Twilight is just completely nerds out about the history of Griffith. She goes into all the history that that John just mentioned, and she's super jelly and wants to go. And I think it's Rainbow Dash, but she makes a good point. She's just like, "Well, why don't you go with us? There's nothing saying you can't." And
Mhm.
Twilight basically just responds like, "Well, if the map didn't make my ass glow, I guess that means I'm not worthy."
Yeah,
So,
something like
so
that.
when they're on the train ride, Rainbow Dash is like reading all of Twilight's history, and she makes the comment where it's just like, "Man, it's like Twilight book form."
And then she she's like, I think we've discovered her fan fiction. But what's even funnier is Dash is like, yeah, it's her in book form. She sits up. Her mane goes like Twilight's. And she's just like, be sure you have a laugh bit because the Griffins only respond to money. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's incredible.
It's wait. So does that technically mean the Griffins are Toydarians?
I'm a Tridarian. My tricks don't work on me. Only money.
Only money.
No money, no parts, no deal.
It's not It's not super offensive. Only a little bit.
Hmm.
So,
Republic credits? They don't work out here. I need something more real.
which why wouldn't I don't? They never really. I've never really read or seen. They never really explain why Republic credits don't work out there.
I know, right? And it's weird because Tatooine is like one of those central systems in the Star Wars universe. Although it could
Yeah.
have been it could have been many years ago, and it just never, came about. You know what I
Wait,
mean?
a longer time ago in a galaxy even further away? I don't think we're ready for that. Knights of the Republic did that, and whoa, I mean they were great games. Holy crap, they were fun. But
They
anyway,
were.
so they get to Griffonstone, and they're just like, "Where's the king?" And Gilda pops out of nowhere, and she's just like, "We don't have a king, dweebs." And can I just say, I appreciate that Hasbro. At least I didn't see it on TV. I didn't see it on TV, but I appreciate that Hasbro didn't straight up reveal that Gilda was going to be in the episode because you pretty much assumed it would. She would because Griffin is in the title, and I think maybe not as much as Trixie. The fans have kind of been wanting Gilda to show up again, so
Mhm.
but this because then when she shows up, it's like, oh snap, come on and slam. Gilda's in the jam. And it was cool. Gilda's the same as ever, but I appreciate that they toned down her usage of 90s colloquialisms. I think that's the
Thank
right word.
God.
He's like,
Seriously, those were annoying.
her using like dweebs. That kind of seems to be her word, which I mean that's fine because I mean that's kind of what I think of when I think of Gilda. Her just calling someone a dweeb.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. So they run into Grandpa Griffin. No,
Hmm.
what was his name? Yeah, Grandpa Griffin.
It was actually, let me look this up again. Um Grandpa Gruff, actually. And
Was it?
this dude, he so reminds me of that one character from Pirates of the Caribbean with the glass eye or whatever. So funny.
That reminds me. I don't want to get derailed again. So he tells them a story. He basically says what Twilight said, but expands upon it, saying how a long, long time ago they lost the Philosopher's Stone and Poseidon's crown in like a ditch or something,
But
and
here's the
Rainbow.
thing. Here's the thing. This Cyclops thing, this Cyclops ram thing just comes out of nowhere and starts wreaking havoc, takes the Isle of or why was I about to say Isle of Boreas? Idol of Boreas. And hashtag DLC for Black Flag confirmed.
Black Flag 2. Wait, they can't release DLC. They're already working on the next 5 Assassin's Creed games that have come out. Probably.
Anyway, so steals the idol, and I don't know about you, but it gave me such a Kung Fu Panda look to it. I don't know why. Just the setting and everything, it just looks like something straight out of Kung Fu Panda.
I can kind of see that, but what the art style reminded me of, kind of like of some of the cinematics using God of War 3, like when they do the intro to the game and the outro, just a little bits, just that old like Greek. Maybe not Greek, but just that old, just timey art style was kind of cool. I saw it, and the first thing I could think of is, I have lived as a warrior. I have died as a god. That's my best Kratos voice.
That was
Zeus!
awesome. Zoom, motherfucker.
Zeus! So, so Dash finds, okay, clearly our friendship problem was to bring the crown and the and the sword and the stone back to Griffonstone so they could get their self-confidence and balls back. Pinky's like, no, I think there's something deeper into the mix here that we're missing. So Rainbow Dash opts to go search for stuff, and Pinky remains in town with Gilda.
Mm-hmm. So Dash goes into the store, runs in. It's like, I'm gonna need some rope. I'm gonna need some headgear, and I'm gonna go down into the abysmal abyss and get. Yeah, that's what that ram thing fell into. Called the abysmal abyss. I know, so original. But anyway, go to the abysmal abyss and get that stone back, and then the one line from this Griffin character, you got bits? So funny.
You got bits. She was like one of the funniest characters in the show. Pinky, in the meantime, she's hanging with Gilda, and Gilda's like, okay, I'm making scones now because I need a plot device. So Pinky eats a scone, and she's just like, well, my gums are only bleeding a little bit, and my teeth, and I've only lost 2 teeth. So, maybe your shit needs some refurbishment. So I think it's at this part, she's about to bust into a song, but Gilda's just like, we have a no song law here in Griffonstone. And she points to a sign that says as such. And oh my god, Pinky's reaction was just so funny. She's like, oh my god, explain the rest. It was so funny.
So pretty much, it's like, no singing. Okay, well, what you guys need is a party. Where's your nearest party store? And it's like, no party store? Okay, well, maybe a cake. Where's your nearest bakery? And it's just like, seriously? No songs, no parties, and no cake? What is wrong with you people? So funny.
Her reaction to that just reminded me. You remember that show Survivor? It just really made me think of like every first day to like every first week to like the second or third week, everyone's just like, this is horrible. I get no cell phone reception. I don't have my makeup. This is just the worst. Pinky's reaction just reminded me so much of that. I think back on that show, and it's like, there may be. It's not too hard to see why some people may have a problem with our television, our country, or at least our television products. Think about it. We have a game show called Survivor. That's a game in our country where people have lived for eons already.
And it's sad, isn't it?
It's sad, but it's good for a cheap laugh. And unlike the Special Olympics, you won't go to hell for laughing at it.
Oh,
I'm not saying anything. I'm just acknowledging that people do it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
yeah.
So she's trying to help Gilda with the scones or whatever, and it's like she's about to break her teeth, like you were saying. It's like, okay, let me help you make these, and then it's like she gets another batch going. Okay, these are good, but they're missing one important ingredient, and Gilda's just like, let me guess. Friendship. And it's like, no, baking soda. Luckily for you, I have one in my main right now. Convenient.
It seems like with season 5, they're getting a little more just jokey about that, or at least just acknowledging that that's kind of like, because okay, the whole thing of the show is friendship is magic, ding, but like, but like I don't know, just like Starlight Glimmer's character and then Gilda making that little joke. It's like I don't know. Season 5 just feels like the tiniest bit meta to me.
I know what you mean.
I mean, I liked it because that joke was funny. But so it's at this point that we switch back to Rainbow Dash exploring, and she comes across the abysmal abyss within the abyss inside of the abysmal, and she's just
Wow,
like,
it's so abysmal.
it's like, I think I can see hell from here. So she tells the lady, she's just like, okay, lower me down. You got bits. And she shells out a few more, goes down, she collects the crown because she found it. And she's just like, help, I'm stuck, help me. No, throw down another rope. You got bits. And she just leaves her there to die.
I know, it's so sad.
You know, if it wasn't for Tanks for the Memories, I probably would have just laughed out loud at that. But you know what? I only LOL'd a little bit, not a lot.
Yep.
Miracles can happen. Season 4 had a Rainbow Dash episode I liked. Season 5 made me like Rainbow Dash again.
Indeed.
It took 3 years, but it happened.
So anyway, Pinky's like, okay, I gotta go find Rainbow Dash, see how she's doing. She gets over there, and it's like, Pinky, help me! I'm stuck here. And it's like, okay, well, throw me down a rope. Throws down the whole thing. And it's like,
Turns out
Pinky, you idiot!
you gotta be a little more specific when you talk to Pinkie Pie.
You have to read between the lines with that gal.
Because if you don't, then you'll end up at the bottom of a cliff and you'll die. Basically, if you don't word yourself care of Pinkie Pie, you'll die. Wow, how many people have died by the hooves of Pinky?
Considering cupcakes, probably gonna be a body count soon.
Thanks, Sergeant Sprinkles. I don't get how that person has been able to elude such anonymity. No one's come forward and said they wrote the thing. What if it was you? Do 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 do.
The Twilight Zone.
My mind is officially blown.
My mind is. It reminds me of this picture. It's this picture of Pinky just, having a thought bubble, and it says, my life is like a constant enigma or something like that. And the thought inside the thought bubble is literally spilt milk.
Oh my
so
God.
Funny.
That's funny. Oh, so Pinky gets Gilda, and she's like, dude, Rainbow's about to die. And Gilda's just like, I don't care. And Rainbow Dash is like, don't you remember when you did care? And then we get a flashback, and then we see tiny Gilda in Cloudsdale with tiny Rainbow Dash. And
so cute.
It's so weird.
Diabetes overload.
It's so weird. It's so interesting to me how they can even make Gilda seem cute at times.
Exactly.
So I'm watching her origin story a bit, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, isn't this kind of a rehash of like how Rainbow Dash met Fluttershy? Did Gilda and Fluttershy know each other at one point?
I don't know. But here's the thing.
The world may never know.
How many licks
the show may
to
never
get to the bottom of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Those commercials look like they were... You've seen those commercials on TV. They look like they were animated in, like, 65.
Exactly. But anyway, with this scene, though, as much as I love it, and it's so adorable, don't get me wrong, but it kind of just brings up more questions that don't actually get answered about Gilda. It's like, Gilda, what happened to you? You were like Fluttershy at one point. What happened? I want to know more. I want to come up and hug you or something.
Well, 2 different paths in life, I guess. I mean, they did start out the same, shy and afraid. difference is that Rainbow Dash just kind of gave Fluttershy confidence. She found her road on her own. She found her path in life on her own. Gilda seemed to kind of more emulate Rainbow Dash and just went down the path of being a cocky athlete, but with even less humility than Rainbow Dash. Of course, if we're going by that logic, then that makes Gilda a washed out athlete, whereas Rainbow Dash is just an athlete that parties a lot.
Exactly.
Hashtag Kobe Bryant.
I could just imagine now fan art of Kobe Bryant watching My Little Pony or something.
He just watches Rainbow Dash and he's just like, I really respect her work ethic. But does she have an unblockable turnaround? Hashtag Black Mamba. It's really funny.
Anyway.
It's so funny how he can be accused of a really bad crime, and all he has to do is settle out in court, change his jersey number, win a ring, and that soulless town just south of me in LA just couldn't be happier.
Pretty much. Anyway,
Oh, well.
so Gilda finally decides to go and help out, and so she gets down there, and it's like, "Hey, dweeb, you ready for me to save you or something?" And Dad's just like, "What took you so long, loser?" And she goes down, and Pinky sees that it's not really going to work, and she sees that Dash is slipping or something. And so she goes and she dives down and brings all three of them down with her. And so Gilda gets up on a ledge, and you have to have an Indiana Jones reference with these kind of stories.
Of course.
You see the Cyclops head in front of Gilda, and behind Gilda is the idol of Boreas. And so she tries grabbing for it, but eventually just brings Pinky and Rainbow back up, and it's like she comes up and she's just like, "Why'd you save us? You're more valuable to me than any hunk of gold in the world." And I'm just like, "Aww."
I'm just like, wow.
Just like with Hurricane Fluttershy, where Spitfire just being there and not doing a darn thing was undermining the entirety of Fluttershy's story arc. This episode explicitly stated, we don't have kings, we don't care about our gold, at least Gilda doesn't. And now she's like, "You're better than me, not a hunk of gold." I could have told you that at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like they pussied out Gilda a little bit, honestly, because the next scene when she's talking to him up till the end of the episode, like her voice is softer now. It doesn't sound like she's trying to like impersonate Dave Mustaine, and she's just kind of like super repetitive about everything. And my thing was like, okay, they were gonna do that with Gilda at some point, but I don't know. It just felt kind of rushed to me. Like it's not out of place for the show. Pretty much everyone's possible of being redeemable except for Sombra because he's dead. But yeah, well, I don't know. What the hell happened to Chrysalis?
She's still in the Badlands plotting her revenge.
Actually, come to think about it, one of the reactors in the reaction to Cutie Markless, we still don't know what it's called, pointed out that, hey, isn't that where the changelings are? So it kind of gets me thinking, if they're really going where I think they are with this episode, Chrysalis is going to come into play at some point.
That would be absolutely amazing.
That would be fantastical, amazing sauce. I don't know what you called the Mod Pie episode.
But a big twist. Here's the big twist. Cadence and Shining Armor aren't there, so they just can't blast him off again.
Oh, so she kills him?
No! I wasn't going to be that mean.
I would, though. I would. And so
I
Gilda...
command Larson. Larson, make it happen.
Isn't Larson like the super editor for this whole season?
Oh my gosh, you're right. He's the story editor now.
Which kind of threw me off. I think, yeah, you pointed that out to me yesterday. She's like, it's like Megan McCarthy was the one season 4. I thought that was permanent. But Emmy Larson didn't write an episode last season, right?
No, he didn't, because he was busy writing this.
Ooh. Is that Aragon?
No, it's called Pennyroyal Academy, and it actually was endorsed by Reese Witherspoon herself. This is the quote that she put on it, if we can divulge for a minute. M.A. Larson has created a magical world of adventure, a world that shows who princesses truly are, people of character and courage and strength. No one rescues pennyroyal princesses. They rescue themselves.
Well,
Hashtag so deep.
hashtag here comes another army of people trying to top Harry Potter. We had the Twihards, we had the 50 shades of 50 shades of old ladies, and now we're gonna have the Pennyworth Privet Party.
And yet, out of all of that, Lord of the Rings was the only one that was able to top it.
Yeah, because Lord of the Rings got lucky, okay?
Here's the funny thing, though, and I'm going to show this to you, and I'll probably put it in the description as well, because I found it hysterical. It's literally Gandalf, Dumbledore, and Aslan recreating the opening monologue to Lord of the Rings in the form of the books. So, like, 7 were given to Tolkien, wisest and fairest of them all. 3
Oh my
were given,
God.
or no, 3 were given to Tolkien, 7 were given to Lewis, and another 7 were given, and so it just kind of goes down the list. And it's hysterical.
That sounds pretty cool. So then the episode ends, and Gilda and Dash are friends again. That felt nice.
And then also, apparently, she's going to be spreading friendship across Griffonstone with.
Oh yeah, we forgot to bring up.
Yeah, Greta the Griffin. Really, I don't know much about her, but okay. She didn't have any lines, so,
Yeah, I like how she's just like, okay, I went over there and it was super weird, but I gave her the scone that Pinky made, and now she wants to be my friend, the bitch. So the episode,
So what Pinky said in the cutie map was right. We never let an argument get in the way of food.
We never get an argument get in the way of food.
Ah.
Good times. So honestly, the episode was okay. There's honestly my main problems with the second act. I kind of like the character arc they were going with Gilda, and I like that they showed that she still had some of her friendly feelings for Dash left. My thing was her turnaround. If they were going to redeem her, fine. But honestly, if they were, I kind of wish that they focused just a tiny bit more on just her side of the story on the episode, only because it wouldn't have made her redemption feel too rushed,
Mm-hmm.
And and Pinkie Pie was funny. She had that little moment with the King Grover statue.
Oh my gosh, Grover, you old charmer.
That was pretty funny. Dash, I like Dash in episodes like this where she's not the main focus and she's just kind of like the secondary character because that's when she has some of the funniest scenes. Is when it just cuts back to her every once in a while and she's just I don't know, every scene she had with that shopkeep pony Griffin just made me laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
On it, but yeah, if we're gonna I don't know. Rating it wise, I'd probably just give it about a 7.
I actually have the same idea too. I'm gonna put it at a 7 because honestly, it's kind of in my eyes about the same as Crystal Empire. Like I said with Cutie Map, it's kind of like that in terms of how much I liked it. So I'm gonna give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, and it's like it's not to say anything bad, but I hate doing this. But comparing it to to like tanks and the premiere episodes. I mean, season 5 is pretty strong, right? Castle was a little hit and miss. Bloom and Gloom was really good at the second half. And Appaloosa's Most Wanted, the best redeeming quality was that character, but you know, it was just. I felt like it could have been a little better. I just it's not a subject of pacing because 20-minute episode. It's more just a system of structure, like the background on the Griffins. That's cool for the diehards of the show. But part of me kind of wishes it focused just a little more on Gilda. But then that probably would have had to have had Rainbow Dash remain present and then not go look for the crown and stuff, and then not have a point of conflict where Pinky would inevitably have to go look after her and stuff like that. So I get why the episode was written like that. It wasn't for me fully.
I agree. I feel like this episode, it had a lot of good things going for it. However, it's just one of those things where I love the slice of life stories, but it feels like the world building, it's either really good or it's just okay.
Yeah.
So, and this was another instance of it being just okay.
And and another thing I appreciate about the show is that it was cool to see this see them develop Gilda a little more because I kind of like it when how it takes for the memories with Rainbow Dash, where it's just kind of I've never seen a character act that way before. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it just shows that the show is always finding new ways to expand on the characters and give out callbacks to the old stuff like Trixie in season 3, Gilda here, and just look what they're doing with the Equestria Girls universe. 2012, everyone hated that thing and all it stood for. Rainbow Rocks comes out, they release a few short videos and music videos here and there. Dude, I'm guaranteed you're going to get a bunch of people going you know what? I kind of want to see Equestria Girls more than the Pony World.
But you know what? Here's the thing that I'm really looking forward to. Me and a bunch of the guys, after seeing Rainbow Rocks at a meetup, we were all just talking about hey, what is going to happen when they get to college? And here's exactly what they're going to do. I guarantee you they're going to have a philosophy teacher named Professor Discord.
I honestly feel like that
is honestly going to be that.
That would be awesome. I really like what they're doing with the Equestria Girls universe. I like what they're doing with Sunset Shimmer. Have you seen the music video for My Past Is Not Today?
Oh, it's so good.
They made her out to be the Phoenix? That was genius.
That was amazing.
Oh my god. Friendship through the ages, life is a runway. Honestly, I really dig the ponies. I really dig their human counterparts. They've done really good at showing that they're still the same characters, but giving them just such different but one and the same identities. I like the Equestria Girls universe now.
I agree. But anyway, that should be something for another video entirely because we haven't even gotten to the Equestria Girls movies.
Oh yeah, we need to do that. Ooh, there's an idea. Well, so the next episode is the 100th episode.
And I do not know if
Will
I'll be able to do it.
Scratch finally be confirmed?
Will Lyra and Bon Bon finally be confirmed? Only time will tell.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
But anyway, I don't know if we'll be doing the review specifically on that Saturday or that Sunday, because here's the thing. Me and Snakeskin are on a 2-hour time difference, number one. I got a job at Amazon, which is doing till 4 a.m., and then I'll be coming home to sleep and stuff. So I don't know if the whole schedule will work out. Number two, if it's not on Saturday or, whatever. But the other thing is the fact that I will be at MLP MSP when the 100th episode hits. So you'll be seeing the vlog videos for MLP MSP, but I don't know if you'll be seeing a review specifically at that time. So
You.
just a
What
heads
he
up.
means to say is you won't because I won't be there. Right, John?
Well, here's what I want you to do. Save up money,
Jonathan.
save up money, and be ready to go to BabsCon, and I'll come and see you and we can do a review at BabsCon, okay?
Yeah, I need to see if I'm taller than you.
We totally need to do that, but that would be amazing rooming together. It's like, we have Snakeskin 94.
And then we have John. No, wait, what side of the screen? No, wait, you're down there because the screen's on me. Yeah, we've got John. It's always nice to put a little meta into these things just to acknowledge the fact that we are on the internet.
Indeed.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in a few weeks. He'll see you guys some other time, probably sooner. So until then, live long, prosper, Brony on, support your local Batman.
Peace out, Dragon.